teenager named Granny and her friends believed she captured a paranormal entity using Snapchat. Granny was taking a regular selfie when her friends soon pointed out the ghoulish figure lurking outside her window. Looking closely, you can see the left side of its face shining in the pale light, clearly looking straight at her. The right side of its face is shrouded in darkness. The figure looks hunched over and huge. In this video, a member of the Urban Ghosts Urban Exploration Team goes to a church that he believes has been taken over by a great evil. Watch this part and tell me if he kicked something nearby or not.
Last time was...
About 3 minutes later, he hears this noise coming from somewhere outside. It doesn't sound like an animal, and it certainly doesn't sound like a person. So, is this a ghost? Outside, the lights are now on when hardly anyone was on before. Supernatural or just a timer? And one last thing. While walking around the perimeter, he chances upon this creature staring back at him through the window with red eyes. But since another red light is caught in the very next window over, I think it could just be the reflection of brakes from nearby traffic. A mother records her child happily pressing Play-Doh in different shapes, utterly unaware that the toy moves twice on its own. The first time is almost unnoticeable, so watch closely.
What are you doing?
Play-Doh.
The second time, however, is much more apparent. Look again. You'll see both of the kids' hands are entirely off the toy when it suddenly somehow moves towards him. Ryan fears this house is haunted after seeing some scary things in the basement. He goes exploring and gets through most of the downstairs area until only a few places left to check. But just when he thinks his house might not be haunted after all, a mysterious figure runs up the stairs and a scary shadow person is sighted.
Oh my... Oh...
Maybe the steps are carpeted to muffle its footsteps, but it's beyond creepy how fast the shadow moves without making a sound. Ryan's scared reaction sounds about as realistic as it gets. He freaks out, runs away, and then walks to the steps where he last saw it when he regained his sense. Against his better judgment, he looks up and waits. He knows something is up there, but cannot explain it or bring himself to face it. A scary sound, not quite a hiss, not a howl, not a moan, just a creepy warning noise coming down the stairs. He does the most intelligent thing anybody could do in this situation. Stop exploring, get your keys, and run. A YouTuber named David's Ghost Cam has recently installed a brand new smoke and carbon monoxide detector that seems to be acting quite strangely. First of all, it only goes off when he's downstairs. Secondly, it tells him that the carbon monoxide levels are at 0%, which means it shouldn't go off. Finally, it tells him to get out of his home.
Okay, so we're going to go downstairs, and I'm going to show you what happened the other night.
Look what happens as soon as he steps foot in the basement. Keep in mind that this alarm has not gone off since the last time he went downstairs. There is no smoke to speak of. This, combined with the other weird happenings, has David convinced that his basement is quite haunted. David explains that he once had a house guest who stayed in the cellar for over 3 months before taking his own life. Everyone was surprised. Since then, David has noticed things in the house moving around by themselves, strange sounds, and most recently, the faulty smoke alarm. Even stranger is how, as soon as David starts talking to the smoke alarm again, it goes off on its own for a second time. However, all smoke detectors require you to press a test button physically. This one does seem to be going off all by itself. This brings me to an interesting point. If David's house guest was a friend, why would he be telling him to leave his home? Perhaps there is some danger. Maybe he is just trying to warn David of a gas leak or an impending fire. I guess only time will tell. According to a team of ghost hunters, this house in San Pedro, California, has long been haunted by poltergeists who like to open cupboards, throw plates, change television channels, and linger in certain rooms until a mother and her 2 children felt uncomfortable enough to leave. A lot of the events happened before the ghost hunters became involved and therefore were never recorded. But it wasn't uncommon for a red liquid to drip from the walls of this haunted home for no explainable reason. Here is a quick clip of this happening in real time before the team's eyes.
Everyone just left except us. Things are starting to drip out of the cabinets. Nobody believes us, but it's happening.
There it is.
There it is, right there.
Unbelievable.
Eventually, the ghosts drive the mother and her children out of the home, and the ghost hunters volunteer to stay there and investigate for several months. One day, they hear 3 loud snapping noises coming from the attic and send a man named Barry to investigate. As he later recalls, something was up there waiting for him.
Here, buddy. God, look at his neck. Jeff, what's behind your neck?
I don't know what's on my neck.
Come on down. Look at your throat.
Barry comes back down, troubled and confused, now missing his glasses. Some cord is wrapped around his neck, and he insists that something has tried to choke him upstairs in the attic. The investigation was called off shortly after out of concern for the team's safety. Basements are where hidden secrets are kept in the dark. Old memories and keepsakes of things that are too scary for the surface and would get you some strange looks. Basements often serve as a place for troubled minds to explore the scariest facets of the human imagination. A YouTuber, Jonathan Wickholm, goes exploring the basement of his girlfriend's apartment building because it's creepy and old, and he suspects that scary stuff is down there. He's not wrong.
So James agreed, the moment you walk in this room, it's creepy. It makes no sense. Over by James, there's a random stool and a microwave that, is it plugged in? No, okay, so it gets weirder.
In the center of the room is a large cedar box. On the outside is a door that unlocks only from the outside. Sticking out of the top of the mysterious, nondescript box is a pipe for giving someone air. And when he opens it,
This is what it is. It is a small room with chairs.
he finds a small hidden room where someone could be kept secret down there without anyone going down there to see them for a long time.
James, look at this. James, look at this. There's scratch marks. There are legit scratch marks. There are f***ing scratch marks.
What was being held down there? Drilled into the ceiling of this secret prison are holes that look like they were put there for further ventilation. A YouTuber named Sean Wells 2001 is convinced that something unholy lurks in his attic at night. It always starts with a weird static sound, almost like an industrial fan, even though nothing is plugged in. Sean leaves the camera on overnight to see what else happens. The mechanical humming sound doesn't go away, and then at 3 a.m., new disturbances are heard. And if you are wondering why Sean doesn't go up there and see what it is for himself, here's why. There's no way a raccoon or any other creature would have enough strength or intelligence to lift the attic door like that. So Sean's video is either 100% paranormal or just a prank. Let me know which one you think it is, because I can't tell for sure. Ouija boards are known to cause trouble all of the time, and just having one in your house can cause some strange disturbances, as this video demonstrates. A YouTuber named Mellow Bird is recording a video in his kitchen. He leaves the room to do something for just 1 second, and then quickly returns to grab his camera and go into the living room. He doesn't even make it past the doorway before he sees that his Ouija board is out of its box and doing something crazy. The Ouija board drops so quickly that you might not see it at first.
Oh.
Look closely and you'll see how it starts mysteriously floating in the middle of the room, almost touching the ceiling, and then drops straight to the floor. As the Mellow Bird is left to ponder the situation, a tiny orb floats down from the doorway. You can see it best when it moves across the black television screen. Mellow Bird stands around for a bit and then challenges the spirit to do something else to prove their existence, but nothing happens. It appears he's all alone again, or at least, for now. A TikToker named Gallagher's from Jersey checks up on his child. The baby monitor when he notices a second small head facing the opposite way and looking up, its features vacant and half deformed. He rushes into the room and, in his rage, says he'll put an end to the spirit and calls it a name.
You son of a...
Which I'm not sure was the best approach to take, considering it has such easy access to his child. Three students sneak into Garland High School in Texas after hours. They're searching for paranormal evidence of a girl who supposedly passed away in the cafeteria a long time ago. They stand around talking about her for almost a full minute and even jokingly make crass remarks about her, when suddenly a noise interrupts their conversation. They turn around and the two girls immediately notice something that neither the third friend nor his camera can see at first.
What?
Oh my god. What is that?
What?
Did you see it?
What appears to be a pale, ghostly figure reaches out to them, perhaps in anger at their remarks. Jesse and Janae are two hosts of a popular YouTube channel called BF vs. GF. One night, the two of them go out with another friend to explore an old prison that's supposedly haunted. A strange figure appears behind Jesse at about 11.5 minutes into the video. Pay attention to the doorway on the left.
To see if he did. So just so you know. And we did a seance.
It echoes so bad in here.
This vanishing shadow caused a massive commotion in the comment section, but the real question is whether or not this is a shadow person or simply a person's shadow. I noticed this was filmed right by the exit sign, So I wouldn't be surprised if this shadow was just the silhouette of a visitor leaving. A YouTuber named RJFD gets a phone call from a friend telling him to look at the sky. He goes outside and doesn't see anything at first. It sounds like thousands of fireworks going off at once, but this is late at night in the middle of winter in a small town in Michigan, so that doesn't make sense. There were no fireworks planned at all. Then the entire sky changes color.
What is that?
If fireworks are not the answer, then the only other explanation I have is some strange weather phenomenon, or this is some Harry Potter versus Voldemort fight. A YouTuber named Alien6467 and a friend are headed down a long stretch of country road in Southwood, New York, when an abandoned white house on the side of the road catches their attention. Something feels odd about this house, so they decide to get out and explore. The first thing the two notice is a room with #vengeance scrawled across the wall in big green letters. Under this word are dozens of bags that contained only a single coin. After a bit of searching, they find a loose floor panel nearby and start pulling out more Ziploc bags containing single coins. The strange feeling gets even stronger after this discovery, and they decide to leave. While filming the house one last time, they see that they are no longer alone, nor were they ever to begin with. A mysterious black silhouette watches them from above, without sound. The coins might have been a calling card, each one representing a previous victim. Stay tuned for our #1 pick that will shock you. Did you know that an actual exorcism was aired live on television in the early 1990s? ABC aired the exorcism on their news channel 2020. It covered Gina, a 16-year-old girl living in Wellington, Florida, who had been in and out of psychiatric wards after seeing demons. It soon became clear that Gina's supposed monsters aren't going out without a fight. First, the priests have to hold her down. They even insist that she will levitate if they were to let go of her. This rough handling only seems to make Gina even angrier for a while. Soon, she calms down just long enough to talk briefly about her situation. 10 vicious demons are taking turns controlling her every day, she says. 2 of the demons she named were called Zion and Minga. Whether or not Zozo was one of the 10 was never revealed. Soon after mentioning them by name, her possession kicks into high gear.
God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit.
She looks very intimidating, especially for such a young country girl. But the raw hatred in her eyes wasn't enough to deter the priests from going through with the exorcism as planned. They recite prayers while she recites prophecies of war and destruction. One priest describes simultaneously feeling the power of God mixed with the power of evil as the supernatural forces fought each other for supremacy. After a long time, the spiritual intervention was finally over. In an interview 2 months after this episode aired, Gina described herself as feeling much better now. The news story has never been picked up since, so who knows if Gina's change lasted or what has happened to her in years before. So, at first glance, this looks like it could be an actual exorcism. But then again, it could also be an instance of a news program taking advantage of a troubled girl and her family for ratings. There's no doubt that the priests believe Gina is possessed, and Gina herself is certainly not faking it. Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends.